defensively tonight?
Well, they went 16 for 34 from three. It felt like there were some in the third quarter where we got disconnected defensively, and they got wide open looks. I also thought they hit some really tough shots as well. They played a great game, and obviously took it to us. And we got to bounce back. We got a flight to Minneapolis tomorrow and a chance to extend the series, and that's the plan.
Steve, hypothetical, but if Steph on game day said, I feel I can go, I want to give it a try, would he go then, or there's a possibility he would be overruled?
When are we giving the update? Wednesday we'll have an update.
Steve, after taking 26 shots in Game 3, Jimmy only has 9 tonight. What were you seeing from him, what the Wolves are doing defensively, and just how he was playing overall?
Well, he wasn't as aggressive tonight, but I didn't see a lot of openings either. It's ideally we could put more shooting around him to open up the floor a little bit, but with Steph out, we're not going to be able to do as much of that. But with that said, we'll look at the tape and see where we can find some openings for him, and I know he'll be aggressive for Game 5.
Steve, another tough shooting.
Hi, that's Steve Kerr, new on SportsCenter. Let's hear from Draymond Green.
Game 5.
Before I start, I want to apologize to y'all. I didn't talk the other day. I was quite a bit frustrated and very careful of. Didn't want to get myself fined, but more so say something and make it sound like an excuse when you struggle and lose. And I didn't come up here and talk, and I felt like a coward when I got home, so I wanted to apologize to y'all for that. As far as 3, we just got to win a game. Win one game, take it from there. I think that's our mindset. Do all that we can, figure out a way to win one. You win one, everything changes. So that'll be our mindset going into Game 5.
Draymond, players like Ant are going to get theirs at some point in the game, but do you think that tonight was more a lack of a defensive effort on you guys, or just some star power that they had?
They hit shots. They shot the ball extremely well. I thought we defended good in spurts, but they got going and we never was able to put out the fire. So got to give them a lot of credit. Kind of felt like they were due for a great shooting night. Sucks that it had to be tonight, but it was, and we just got to figure it out and coming back in Game 5.
Draymond, you guys were closing the half really well, and then
All right, it all turned in that fateful third quarter for the Warriors, who led at the half and then just got blitzed by the Wolves in the third, outscored 39-17. Timberwolves forced 6 turnovers in the final 8 minutes of the quarter with the game tied. Minnesota went on a 29-9 run, and now they've got the 3-1 series lead, and we've got Brian Windhorst joining us now to talk about this. The Wolves are an interesting team here, Brian, because midway through the season, they're kind of sideways and somewhat of a disappointment, and now they're catching fire here in the springtime. What have you seen out of them these last 3 games that makes you think this is a legit contender here?
Well, I've been very impressed by their all-business attitude on the 2 games in Golden State. Last year they got up 2-0 in their series against the Nuggets. They went back home, dropped those 2 games, and they had a very impressive win in Game 7 on the road in Denver. By the time they got to the conference finals, which was a huge moment for their franchise, they were exhausted, David. And I think they saw an opportunity here to come out to Golden State without Steph Curry, play some good games, and really take a stranglehold on the series and give themselves a chance going forward. That is exactly what they did. I thought all business, especially in the second half here. Ant Edwards saw an opportunity, really attacked, was able to create separation. Julius Randle got it done in the first half, and the 2 of them working together, they're really defining this last section of the season for the Wolves. They finished extremely strong, 18-3, and they've carried that over into the playoffs, and they are not their 6th seed. They were a different team by the time they got to the playoffs. I think we have now seen that in this series as well.
Yeah, okay, so they're up 3-1, looking to close out in Game 5 coming up on Wednesday. The Knicks are in the same spot after a really impressive performance Of course, that's sort of overshadowed a little bit, Brian, by the terrible injury to Jason Tatum, one of the best players in the game. With that injury included in the question, what do you think of the series moving forward at this point?
Yeah, I want to say two things about this game. One, the Knicks were brilliant in the second half of this game. They did a great job staying attached in the first half. Jalen Brunson was awesome in the third quarter, and he got teammates to support him. They were going to win this game either way without the Tatum injury, and they were going to be ahead rightfully 3-1. Now you look going forward, the Tatum injury has completely gutted the Celtics, even though they don't have a definitive diagnosis until tomorrow. He is almost certainly going to miss time, potentially a lot of time. I will say this, though. The Celtics were 8-2 when Tatum didn't play this year. They are a very good road team. They are excellent. This series is not over, and the Knicks understand that, and so do the Celtics.
Very interesting. We'll see how it all plays out. The champs against the ropes right now. We'll see what happens in Game 5. Brian giving us his thoughts on tonight's NBA action.
And you really got going in the third quarter, both individually and as a team. Like, what did you find or what changed to get you guys rolling the way that you did?
At halftime, coach came in and just said, we playing like we already won the series pretty much, and I don't really like that. And I didn't like how we was playing overall, and I didn't like how I was playing individually, so I knew I had to pick it up.
What had to change the most, or what did you change?
Our defense. We was letting Jonathan Kuminga just get everywhere he wanted to go. Draymond was pushing the pace. We wasn't impacting the ball unless he was crossing half court. Offensive rebounds, we wasn't boxing out. We wasn't limiting those guys to one shot. Just game plan mistakes that can't happen if you want to beat a championship team and if you want to go to the finals, or Western Conference Finals at least. You can't let those things happen, so we got to be better.
And what is it like when you get in one of those runs like you were offensively there in the third quarter?
It's the best feeling ever.
Did it start with that shot that you made at the end of the first half to kind of get you going?
Probably. Probably. Yeah, that was a nice shot for me. It got me going.
And Fitch was saying that you were one of the most vocal guys at halftime tonight. Were you delivering some of that message that you were just talking about before? Like, what was your message to the team at halftime?
Yeah, I told them we only got 2 wins. I've never seen a series end 2-1. So I told them, we got to get 2 more wins, and right now we playing like we already got 4 wins. Like, we playing like they're gonna lay down, and knowing this team, knowing their head coach, they're never gonna lay down. So we had to figure it out, man. Because if we would have kept playing like that, we would have lost tonight.
Again, Ant with 30. He now has 13 career 30-point games in the postseason. 3 of them coming in these playoffs. That's just 2 shy of all of the other 30-point playoff games in Timberwolves franchise history.
Averaged 30 a quarter for the first half, and we held them to 17 points in the third quarter. So, I think it was really as simple as our defense. We got stops, and we were able to get out, in transition, get some easy looks. Obviously, Ant went crazy in the third quarter as well, hitting multiple threes. So, that kind of, gave us some good separation, and, we just got some consistent stops.
Hey, Kai, what do you like most about watching your dad play?
I like to hype him up, and I like to just watch him play and play his hardest.
What do you tell him?
I don't know, I just tell him to lock in and play good.
Obviously always concerned about someone's health. It's twofold. We're concerned about his health, where he's at, and then we're concerned about what we have to do better for Game 5 when we get back to Boston.
It's tough to see him go down, but obviously right now it's pretty low because of the game, and it's not like we planned to be in this position, but we are where we are, and got to find a way to win Game 5.
Obviously the loss is huge, and but we got to get ready for Game 5, so we'll take the night and pick our heads up tomorrow and put together a game plan to come out on our own floor to keep this series alive.
Well, to the brink of elimination, and now with their superstar leaving the court in a wheelchair, it is no surprise the Celtics are better with Jason Tatum on the court compared to him off. But get this, despite leading for the majority of the series and beating the Magic in 5 games, Boston has a negative net rating without Tatum this postseason.
Little did we know when the Mavs traded Luka that they would end up with Cooper Flagg, huh? Well, conspiracy theorists and jilted Philly fans like me aside, how is that even fair? Nico Harrison just got an autocorrect that would make my iPhone jealous. And how can Dallas be this lucky? They jumped 10 teams, 1.8% chance of that happening, and they land the next great one. Weeks after the Dallas Wings landed the other next great one in Paige Beckers. What's next? The Cowboys win the Super Bowl? Ha, wait. Yeah, please, right? It's got to be like a 1.8% chance of that happening, right? All right, I'm going to shut up now. Dallas fans, forget your past. Here's your future. Top 3 Cooper Flagg plays. Spoiler alert, they're all dunks because he's like that. Here's Cooper February 12th, 2025 against Cal. The steal, the double clutch reverse dunk. That's flashy, and that's not even his best.
All right, number 2, November 2024, Kansas against Duke. Con Knipple to Flagg. Ooh, Flagg. I mean, come on, Cooper. Why you want to do that to you? No, it's not nice, man. It's just not nice.
And you know what? He was only 17 at the time. And then when he turned 18, he was doing this. Number 1, the steal and the poster. Sion James is like watching this, and he's like, what? Yeah, indeed. And here's how it sounded, by the way, on Duke Radio.
Cooper stole it, cutting in front, a chance to run all the way to the other end. A dunk of a lifetime, and he sound. My goodness, Cameron in a frenzy.
Jay, at the time after the game, he was like, I think that's like an 8.5 for me. Out of 10. What's a 10, Cooper? This dude is going to be amazing in the NBA.